What's up, guys? This is Johnny on the spot. I am actually not recording live here. This is off my camera. I am actually not. I do not have a mic, so I had to use a workaround with the camera, convert it, and edit it. So anyway, this is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It won Game of the Year recently. It actually is a really beautiful game. It's very challenging. This is the first From Software game I've ever played. So at this point, this is toward the end of the game. I got stuck somewhere. I got stuck at one of the major boss fights, the Shura, and I just it would have taken me years to finish. As it was, I put 100 hours into this game, and I just said to myself, there is no way I can afford to lose the time. Okay, so anyway, the story with Sekiro is that it's during the Sengoku era. That's the age of the country at war, and you play a shinobi who basically is trying to save his master. His I forget what the kid's name is. Koro is the kid's name. So again, this is a very beautiful game. It is sometimes not very forgiving, especially if you end up using the items that you need to fight certain bosses. The divine grass stuff is really critical to have because it'll restore your whole health bar. One of the little things I have with issues that I have with Sekiro is that while you can see the health bar, there's no number to indicate, well, this is how much health you have before you're dead. So you basically get 2 resurrection points at the beginning of the game, and you end up with 3 if you beat one of the bosses. I forget which boss it is. If it isn't obvious at this point, I'm cheating. Like I said, I couldn't put any more time into this game. It's a really beautiful game, and it's a real challenge if you have the reflex and the time to learn all the nuances of blocking. I don't have the time. So I downloaded a trainer. So the trainer makes it so that you can have infinite health. You'll see I'm doing these super jumps that really kind of glitch out the game sometimes too. It's kind of funny because you'll fall through a tree and it's a bottomless tree. At some point here, while I was playing here, you'll see that I just kept falling endlessly. So it does glitch out the game a little bit. Right. This is one of those mini bosses that you fight. The trainer makes it a lot easier. One shot, one kill. Some of the details with this game. There's a lot of different techniques that your Sekiro uses. He's got his stealth takedowns and all kinds of different sword techniques. I would recommend that if you really want to learn how to play this game, there's a walkthrough, and to do it perfectly, I would suggest following Fighting Cowboy. Because he's dead on about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Unfortunately, I got stuck at that Shura ending, and I just got too frustrated with it that I'm like, screw it, let me just go through and enjoy the game for the plot and the story part. So yeah, you can see that. I don't think this is on max detail. I'm only running an RX 550 So it's a 4 GB card, and it probably wouldn't do well any higher than with what it is. So yeah, I at this point, like I was just having fun with it, especially when you could just fly around, and skip all the bullshit parts and not have to worry about, having enemies, chasing you or anything. So yeah, there's a lot of the cutscenes are wonderful too for this game. And, you're watching for some of the cinematics. Sorry, I'm watching here and I'm like, what am I? Oh, okay, yeah. So at this point, there's this dragon tree that you end up fighting, and I think I got lost here because I forgot where she was, or where he was, whatever. So yeah, I've always been very what do you call it? Very much in love with Japanese culture and history. There isn't a game quite like this. Okay, this is one of the cutscenes. I think I'll just let it speak for itself. Part of Sekiro's deal is that he loses his arm against Genichiro. So this boss fight is really frustrating. This part is the easy part. You just cut these guys down, and they reduce the health of the collective hold. So Genichiro ends up cutting off Sekiro's arm, around the introduction of the game, and Genichiro is a invading general, basically. So, just having a good time, just cutting old dragon trees, Along the way, you'll find these prayer beads and what do you call it? Memories that you receive from fighting certain bosses. The memories give you extra attack power. The prayer beads, you have 4 of them, gives you another extra piece of that health bar, so that you get a little extra life. I can tell you that if you don't do it in the right sequence, fighting some of the harder bosses like that you start out with, like Madam Butterfly, can be just so frustrating. this is the annoying part. This is the part that you know, it took me another 10 minutes to finish this boss, and that's with infinite health and the super jump there from the trainer. There's a lot of beautiful symbolism to this game. You know, as far as the artwork and all the physics, you know, I've always been under the concept that if you could imagine something and you know, picture it in your mind, then it's real, you know. So who knows? There might be some divine dragon out in the divine realm just waiting for you too. So, as you can see, I'm getting like thrown around here, and I can tell you this much, that my posture bar is maxed out too. Oh, that's another thing, the posture bar up top. If that is all the way... Oh wait, that's his posture bar, okay. No, so my posture bar is down on the bottom. If your posture bar is maxed out, it won't count as a takedown, it won't count as a kill, but it'll knock you down so that you can't block, and this leaves you super vulnerable to any follow-up attacks. However, if it is completely full, and it gets restored upon you falling down. Kind of like a second wind. I do hope they do a follow-up to Sekiro. You know, maybe there was talk from Fighting Cowboy about there's this there's the Mortal Blade, the Katsubi Maru, and there was reference to I want to call it a Death Blade, but it was supposed to be some sort of blade to kill the undead or something. But it's referenced, but you never find it. So maybe, you know, in Sekiro's next adventure here, he would end up going into the underworld, or the realm of the dead. I strongly recommend, if you know you're interested in Japanese fiction. There's an author called Haruki Murakami, who has a very surreal style of writing. Some of his stuff is very dark, but it rubs on you. It's you know, his sense of humor, though dark, really does get a laugh out of you sometimes. So with this boss, there's these lightning rods that shoot down on these gnarled tree posts, and basically, like, you have to time it so that it actually hits the dragon. I think you can see now that I've missed a couple times. If I didn't have infinite health, I would be so screwed. I would have been dead like 5 times over by now. actually have a couple of Sekiro Dives Twice t-shirts. So for specific events like boss fights, you win the boss fight, you die. You know, it'll give you a little kanji symbol, and it'll tell you, you know, Shinobi Execution or Immortal Severance, Death. So I thought that was a really cool thing to wear around. You know, you'd have to be a total, you know, gaming nerd to like get the reference. Although I'm sure there's a lot of people that have played Sekiro. It's not really the type of game where you can leave and come back to it and be like, oh, I could do this again or whatever. It's you have to be, you know, your blocking has to be perfect to the point of perfection sometimes for some of these bosses. So to step away from it for like a week and then come back and you're like, oh, wait a minute. You know, it's almost like actually practicing with the blade and trying to find, you know, the sequence of what do you call it? You know, the sequence for your practice, your Aido. And I said to myself I wasn't going to mention Aido, but I guess I just did. So. Yeah, it's, you know, in the same fashion, with Aido, you know, there's a point where you struggle to remember what the exact sequence is, and this game is very much like that. You know, there's almost an exact sequence for each boss fight. That if you misstep one block, that could pretty much be the end of the game for you. You know. I don't have particularly good gaming reflexes. I just, you know, I usually use mouse and keyboard. You cannot play this game with mouse and keyboard. Or you can, but I don't recommend it. I really don't. Fortunately, I have a Steam controller, which does the job, but yeah, mouse and keyboard, you're going to be so much more frustrated than having to use your controller. So to me, like you have to kind of lock on to the dragon at some point. If you don't lock onto the dragon, the lightning will kind of just shoot over his head. And sometimes the problem with this boss that I have is that you have to wait for those posts to respawn. And sometimes, like, for whatever reason, for having to cheat on, it would take a good while before they would respawn again. If you can beat this game without cheating, that is an achievement in itself. Forget the whole Steam achievement thing, because it's really a challenging game to me. It is a single player game. Don't mind the whole non-multiplayer aspect of it. I think this is more about story and plot than it is about fighting an opponent or making it about something competitive. Also, I'm not sure if okay, so I see that Sekiro has his Saya the right way. So for years, I was practicing on my own, and I didn't know that my Saya, my scabbard, was upside down. So yeah, I only learned that recently after taking an Aido class for the first time about a month ago. So yeah, again, like with anything else, you know, depending on how you learn it, it could induce bad habits. So I have a few bad habits that I'm trying to avoid. And I guess I don't cheat in games often. This is the only time I gave myself permission to do it. So we're almost wrapped up here. I hope you enjoyed the video about Sekiro. I'm sorry I wasn't really more articulate about what's going on here. I had to record this separately. I haven't been able to find a shirt with that saying "Gracious Gift of Tears," but I'm still on the lookout for one. Anyway, this is Johnny on the Spot signing off here. Again, if you take interest in this and you really want to beat Sekiro the right way, I would strongly recommend Fighting Cowboys walkthrough. Alright, so sayonara and hajime mashite to anybody else that I don't know that is about to say hello.